The year is 585 AD, the Arabian Peninsula, a land of scorching heat, shifting sands, and tribal blood feuds. It is a place where only the strong survive, and where mercy is often seen as weakness. In the heart of this unforgiving land lies the city of Mecca, and in the heart of Mecca, a child is born who will one day change the map of the world. His name is Khalid ibn al-Walid. He is born into the Banu Makhzum, the clan responsible for the warfare and cavalry of the Quraysh tribe. While other children learned poetry or trade, Khalid learned the language of violence. His father, al-Walid, was a wealthy chief who demanded perfection. From the moment he could walk, Khalid was thrown onto the back of a horse. He was taught to ride bareback, gripping the animal's flanks with his legs until he and the horse moved as one. He was trained to wield a lance while galloping at full speed. He learned to fight with a sword in each hand. He grew into a giant of a man broad-shouldered, with a piercing gaze that made lesser men look away. He was proud, he was arrogant. He was undefeated in wrestling and duels. He was the Wolf of Quraysh. But while Khalid was mastering the art of war, a different kind of struggle was beginning in Mecca. A man named Muhammad began preaching a message that threatened everything Khalid's family stood for. A message of one God, a message of equality between the slave and the master. For the Banu Makhzum, this was not just a religion. It was a rebellion. Khalid watched as the tension grew. He saw his own clansmen torture the new Muslims. He saw the division tearing families apart. To Khalid, Muhammad was breaking the unity of his tribe. And for an Arab warrior, loyalty to the tribe was everything. When the Muslims finally fled to Medina, Khalid stayed behind. He was prepared to defend his gods and his city with his life. The drums of war began to beat. The first major battle, Badr, was a humiliation for the Quraysh. The Muslims, though outnumbered, crushed the Meccan army. Khalid's own brothers were captured or killed. The fire of revenge was lit in Khalid's heart. He swore that the next time they met, the outcome would be different. The year is 625 AD. The Meccans gather a massive army 3,000 strong to wipe out the Muslims once and for all. They march towards Medina, fueled by hatred and a thirst for vengeance. Khalid is placed in command of the right flank of the cavalry. This is his moment. He is not just a soldier anymore. He is a tactician. The armies meet at the foot of Mount Uhud. The battle begins ferociously. The Muslims, led by Hamza, the Lion of God, fight with the strength of lions. The Meccan lines begin to crumble. The standard-bearers of Quraysh fall one by one. Panic spreads through the Meccan ranks. They turn and run. From his position on the flank, Khalid watches. He sees his people fleeing. He sees the women of Quraysh screaming. It looks like another defeat. It looks like the end. But Khalid does not run. He holds his cavalry back. He sits on his horse, his eyes scanning the battlefield like a hawk. He is looking for one thing, a mistake, and then he sees it. On a small hill overlooking the battlefield, the Prophet Muhammad had placed 50 archers. Their orders were strict. Do not leave this post, no matter what happens. Even if you see birds eating our bodies, do not move. But as the Meccans flee, the Muslim archers see the spoils of war left behind: armor, weapons, gold. Greed whispers to them. 40 of the 50 archers disobey their orders and run down the hill to collect the loot. The hill is left defenseless. This is the moment Khalid has been waiting for. He signals his men, a silent command. His cavalry, the finest horsemen in Arabia, wheel around. They do not charge the main army. Instead, they ride hard around the back of the mountain. They sweep up the hill, cutting down the few remaining archers in seconds. Suddenly, the Muslims hear a terrifying sound from behind them. The thundering of hooves, the war cry of Khalid ibn al-Walid. Khalid crashes into the rear of the Muslim army like a tidal wave. The Muslims are trapped, pinned between the returning Meccan infantry and Khalid's cavalry. Chaos erupts. The dust is so thick you cannot see your own hand. Brothers strike brothers in the confusion. The cry goes out that the Prophet himself has been killed. The morale of the Muslim army shatters. Khalid fights with the fury of a demon. He cuts a path through the defenders. He is unstoppable. On this day, he is the savior of Mecca. He is the punishment of the Muslims. The battle ends with the Muslims retreating up the mountain, battered and broken. 70 of their best men lie dead, including Hamza, the Prophet's uncle. The Prophet himself is wounded, bleeding from his face. Khalid rides his horse below the mountain, looking up at the survivors. He has won. He has redeemed the honor of his clan. He has proven that he is the greatest general in Arabia. But as the Meccan army marches home, cheering and celebrating, Khalid is strangely silent. He looks at his hands, still stained with blood. He thinks about the men he fought. He saw how they defended the Prophet. He saw how they fought without fear of death. He saw conviction in their eyes that he did not understand. They were not fighting for money. They were not fighting for a tribe. They were fighting for something real. Khalid had won the battle, yes. But as he rode back to the city of idols, a question began to haunt him. A question that would keep him awake for many nights to come. If their God is false, then why do they die with smiles on their faces? The Wolf of Quraysh had tasted blood, but deep down, the seed of truth had been planted. The story of the enemy of Islam ends here. But the story of the sword of Allah is just beginning.